Hi, welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to be making one of my favorite, which is stuffed artichokes. I had purchased some beautiful artichokes. These are so big, I've never seen them this big. But it's the time of season, and we have some beautiful artichokes. So I'm going to show you how to prepare them. And then we'll go ahead, we'll wash them, and then we're going to prepare the stuffing for them. So I find the best way to cut these is with a bread knife because it's serrated. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut the stem off so they can sit on their own. Now don't throw the stem away. Cut the end off just to clean it up. Pull the leaves off. And put this aside because we're going to be chopping this up and using this as part of the stuffing. Never throw away the stems. Okay, so now we have it flat. It can stand on its own. So turn it on its side. And you want to go about 1 inch deep. We're going to cut the top off. Okay. Now, because the leaves have a point at the end, we're going to snip all the tips one by one on the leaves. Snip all the tips off. You just take your time, go around, snip all the tops off. Okay, so now it's nice and cleaned up. Okay, so we'll put that aside and now we're going to do the rest of them. Okay, so I just want to show you what we'll be cooking them in. So you need a pot with a lid. Depending on the size of the artichokes, which we have very big ones, so I'm only going to be able to fit 2 in here. But you want it with a rack. And I have about 1 inch of water because we're going to be steaming them. Okay, so now if you don't have a rack, I also have for my third artichoke just a pot with 1 inch of water, and I rolled up some aluminum foil. So the artichoke is going to rest on this because we don't want the artichokes to touch the bottom of the pot. So we want them to steam. So that's how we'll be cooking them. Alright, so now that I have them all cut, and you can see, okay, and I also saved, like I said, the stems. This is for the stuffing. So what we want to do is wash it all. Let's just rinse off real quick the stems. Okay, so now we're going to you want to get all the water in the leaves, and we want to kind of pull it apart, open it up. Okay, wash the outside, and again, Try to separate the leaves a little bit. You know, not so much where you're going to break it, but just pull apart. Let's get the water in there. Okay, and just shake it out. Don't worry if there's a little bit of water in here because it'll only help it steam. So again, wash the outside and slowly open it up. Open the leaves a little bit, wash inside. Our last one. Okay, so now they're all ready, and we'll get started with the stuffing. Okay, so what we'll do is we're going to start, and we're going to slice. Now I cut one side, so now I can cut it up easily. Okay, so we're just going to slice it up. Okay, now they're basically sticks, so we're going to bring them together. And just start dicing them up, as small as you can get them. Okay, so like that. All right, we're just going to throw that in the bowl. It's going to bring some great flavor to the stuffing. I'm not sure why people throw away the stems when they are identical to the heart of the artichoke and they taste the same. Oops. So that's why I like to add it in. This is actually my mother's recipe. She always added in the stems. So this is how I've been cooking it my whole life. They have such great flavor. It's silly to throw them away, especially if you're stuffing the artichoke. Okay. Now they are very tough when they're raw, but once cooked they are extremely tender and soft. Okay, one more. Okay, so now we have the stems. Now we're going to add a few cloves of garlic. So I have 2 big cloves of garlic. This is about 3, medium cloves it would add up to. I like to do 1 clove of garlic per artichoke. So we're going to slice that up. And cut it as fine as you can get it. Okay, and then we're just going to throw that in there. Okay. Okay, so now what I like to do is I like to add a cup to a cup and a half of breadcrumbs per artichoke. Okay, and to that we're going to be adding a cup of Parmesan cheese, okay, half a teaspoon of salt. The cheese itself is salty. Okay, so now we're going to be adding some olive oil. So we want to mix this up, and we want it to get almost to like a wet sand. So we're going to slowly add olive oil into it. It's usually about a half a cup of olive oil. Now that's for 3 artichokes, so if you were making only 2, I would just cut it down a little bit more. But pretty much, once it turns to almost a wet sand, then we're ready. We don't want the breadcrumbs to be dry. Okay. And that should do it. And that's all you have to add in, and I'll show you. It's like a wet, not too wet, but wet sand. Okay. So now we're going to fill them. What I like to do is make a little hole in the middle. Okay, I take my artichoke and I put it in the center. And with my spoon, I hold the artichoke, and with my thumb I open the leaf. And every time I do that, I grab the spoon and I put it in, and then on my thumb I shove it into the leaf. Show you again. So you can alternate every other leaf. You can do every leaf if you want. You could put just a little bit, a lot. It all depends. The artichoke is going to get very big the more you add stuffing to it. So, and then if it's really tight, just kind of get the spoon in there. And then you just keep going around and around. You could just stuff it. So that's why I say it takes about a cup and a half of the breadcrumbs. It's depending on the size of your artichoke. And then the top, I would just, that's all, just get it in there. Okay, so once it looks good enough, okay, we'll move on to the next one. Just take your time. Now, like I said, these artichokes are big. After they're cooked, they can be, you know, cut in half and serve 2 people. You could have the whole thing as just one big meal. I don't put them in the pot just yet. I like to see how much stuffing I have left over and if I can add any more to the artichokes. Oops. Be careful sometimes when you go and you put it in and the leaf bends back and hits the spoon, the breadcrumbs go flying. My mother used to serve this a lot for Thanksgiving. I like to make it whenever the artichokes are fresh in season. The supermarket had beautiful ones from California. Okay, so there's not much stuffing left, so I'll just go back and add some more to the tops of the others. Okay, so now we're going to go put them in the pot. Okay, so now we're going to carefully put our artichokes in the pot. Okay, so now the biggest one's going in here, so I'm going to put the 2 small ones right in here. Normally I can get actually 4 artichokes in here, because they're usually not this big. Okay, so let's open this one up. And this one is going to be resting on the tin foil. So now what we're going to do is we're going to drizzle some olive oil over the top of each one. Okay. Now we're going to cover them. Okay, so now they're set at 2.5. So it's a low, it's like a simmer. We're going to let them cook for about a half an hour. Every now and then we're going to go in and we're going to check the water level. If the water is low, you're going to add a little bit more. Okay, and then we'll know that they're done when you can stick a knife right through the center, very easily hit the bottom. Alright, so we'll come back and we'll see how they're doing. Okay, so now we're a half hour in. We're going to check them. What I like to do is put a knife in. It's still tough, can't get in to the bottom. Same with the other one. We'll check our water level. We like to keep it at 1 inch. So if you need to, you add some more water. Then we continue boiling. And then we do the same with the other, which I've already done. And they still need time. So it's a half hour in. So we're going to check this again in about 20 minutes. So here we are, about 1 hour in. Now these were very big. So the normal stuffed artichoke would take about 45 minutes. But again, you do the knife test. If it goes in, which it goes in perfectly, nice and easy, then you know it's done. It's touching the bottom of the pot. So they're too hot now. So we're just going to let them rest in the pot and shut everything off. And I'll show you what they look like when they cool down a little bit. And here we are. It's extremely hot, so I can't even taste it right now. Try to separate a little bit to cool it off. But so if you're unfamiliar with stuffed artichokes, so how you would eat it is you would pull the leaf out, okay, eat the stuffing, and then just scrape your teeth along, oh it's very hot, scrape your teeth along the leaf and get all the meat off of the leaves. So I hope you give this recipe a try. This is my mother's stuffed artichoke recipe that I've been eating all my life. It's absolutely delicious. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.